Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'm going to be doing a end of the year top video. So this is the top discoveries that I have found for 2018. So I am not a major YouTube reviewer or anything, which I mean I wish I was, but I haven't got to that level yet, so I'm not able to watch or afford to get all of the new releases for this year or be able to go to the movies like all the time and watch all the new releases. So I can't do like a top movies of the year or whatever because I've not even seen probably a quarter of them or whatever. So that kind of sucks, but I can do a best discoveries that I've found for this year. And I don't really agree with the top 10 or whatever, so these are just going to be these are the top 10, but they're not in any particular specific order because I don't think you can really compare two movies really unless they're of similar genre and similar subject matter because they're so different and all of that. So the only thing that I used as criteria for these top 10 are I had to watch them for the first time in 2018, and that was pretty much it. I think there's only one in here that I picked that came out in 2018, which is kind of cheating, I guess, but I liked it so much I needed to add it to this collection, or this group. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Eddie the Eagle. So this is a movie with Taron Egerton and Hugh Jackman in it, and Taron Egerton plays Eddie. So he's a pretty goofy guy, and he kind of has an obsession with the Olympics, which kind of sounds very familiar to me, and he really wanted to go to the Olympics. So he tried every sport. He was trying to get good at any sport so that he could go to the Olympics. And it turns out that he ends up ski jumping, which is one of my favorite Olympic sports to watch. I love ski jumping. I think it's so interesting, and I'd probably try ski jumping if I were given the chance. So the British rules for being in the Olympics are you have to have at least completed in one tournament or whatever. So he does that, and then they're like, we're gonna change the rules on you because they don't like him. So then you had to reach a certain footage after you've jumped. You have to jump a certain distance. So he gets Hugh Jackman, who was also a ski jumper, to be his coach, and basically it's him trying to get this distance to go to the Olympics. Now, I really liked this. It's quite a bit of things. This is like a movie that's right up my alley because it's about the Olympics, which I love. It's about ski jumping, which I love, and that's basically, and it's a pretty good movie with some good actors in it. So I was really happy to have finally watched it this year, and definitely would recommend watching this if you haven't already. This is another one that I found this year, and it came out last year, so I was really happy to have found it, actually watched it, but this is called The Void. So this one isn't quite as clear-cut as a storyline or whatever, but it's about this cop and some other people get trapped in a hospital that has, I think it had underwent a fire or something, and it was being in the process of being shut down, but they had a skeleton crew staff there who were just watching over the hospital / the patients. There was only 2 or 3 patients there, and if anybody needed to come in for any emergencies or anything, that there was somebody there that they could help. So they get trapped in this hospital because there are these killer cult people surrounding the hospital, not letting them leave. And then a bunch of really weird things start happening. People start dying, and people start there's these giant weird monster things, and you're not really sure what is going on until the very end. So I would recommend watching this movie. I watched it with some friends. They didn't really like it that much, but I seem to really enjoy this one. It has a couple things that I really like. It has some really good practical effects. so that's really nice. It's got a like cult storyline, which slight obsession with cults. I think that they're so fascinating. And I thought that it was overall a pretty interesting horror movie, and I think that you guys should definitely check it out if you're interested. This one was kind of like a sleeper hit for me. It came out in... I'd first heard of it in Horror Pack. I don't get Horror Pack very often unless I have some like extra money or the hints sound like they're going to be something that I would like. So I didn't watch this one, but this was like a Horror Pack signed title, and then I was flipping through TV one day and HBO was on, or not HBO, it was Showtime. It was on Showtime, and I was reading the synopsis, and I thought something, it was about these sorority girls who built like a haunted house, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what my fraternity does. We have a haunted house to raise money for our philanthropy. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll watch that. And it was a little different than that, but I ended up really enjoying it. So this is the Scare House, and I was able to get the Horror Pack exclusive that has the signatures on it, so that was really nice. But it's about these two girls who seek revenge on their fellow sorority sisters for an act that happened, and they got the full blame for it. So they create this haunted house and invite the other sorority sisters there so that they can torture and kill them, basically. So I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely think you guys should check it out. I think that I have a review of this that I've already filmed. I just haven't posted it yet, so be on the lookout for this, and then you'll be able to hear more of my thoughts on it. This is another really good one. I mostly picked this one up because I knew that this Blu-ray was out of print, and I'd wanted to see it for quite a while, but never got the chance. So this is The Relic. So this takes place in a museum, and one of the like professors or whatever that works at this museum went to South America, I believe, and was looking for relics and stuff. And so he finds some stuff and he has it shipped up to, I believe it's Chicago, is where, yep, it's in Chicago, the Natural History Museum. So this professor goes missing, and the relics, and then a bunch of people start dying in the prison in weird ways, like their pituitary gland is missing. So they're like, well, what the heck is going on? So they find out that it's something that came up with them from South America. So this was actually a really decent movie. I thought that the special effects, the CGI of the monster and stuff, were actually really cool. Or at least pretty good for it being in the late 90s. So I would definitely recommend watching this one if you have yet to see it. Now, this one's the one that I say is kind of cheating, because this one did come out this year, but I did not actually watch it or hear any of the spoilers or anything for it until, what was it? It was Black Friday, after Black Friday, because I bought it on Black Friday. So I managed to steer clear of everything and then watched it and was completely shocked, and ended up watching it like 2 or 3 days later with some friends, because I watched it by myself first, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I need other people to watch this so I can talk to them about it. So this is Hereditary. So this seems to be a polarizing movie for some. I really enjoyed it. I have always really liked Toni Collette as an actress, and I thought she did an amazing job in this movie. And for sure, I had no idea what this movie was about. I thought it was going to be about Charlie, and spoiler alert, it's not. That's all I'm going to say about what this movie's about. But there is just an absolutely crazy scene about 30 minutes into this movie, and literally once it happened, my jaw dropped, and I was like sitting there like legitimately stunned at what had just happened for probably a good 20 minutes into the movie. So it is pretty wrecking. Like, it wrecked me. And I don't know. I can't really say a whole lot. I am going to do a review of it, and I'm probably going to make a spoiler review, because it's just, I don't think you can really talk about this movie without having spoilers. Another movie that was really good, and it took me forever to watch this one, and it actually was, so my little brother in the fraternity that I'm in, this was a movie that he really enjoyed, and he kept telling me I needed to watch it, so I was like, alright, I'll watch it. So I watched it on HBO, because I noticed that it was on HBO. Really enjoyed it, bought it on Black Friday. So this is The Greatest Showman. So, for a musical, and an original musical at that, this was a really good movie. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Almost all of the songs are hits. Like, it's gotta be really hard to make a musical that has songs that almost all of the songs stick with me for a while. Like, that's one of my factors as whether if it's a good musical or not, and that's if I leave with the song stuck in my head. And this one definitely did. Unlike La La Land, which I did not like La La Land. But this one is so much better. There are some issues with, like, the character of P.T., well, the person of P.T. Barnum that it's based off of, and I thought there was some directorial issues in this, but I might do a review of this one, so if you guys want to see that, let me know. But definitely check it out if you're a fan of musicals or anything like that, because it's really good. This is another one. This one actually, so the Blu-ray of it came out this year, but it didn't come out, the movie didn't come out, or came out in like the 1990s. So we have Candyman. So this was the first time I had watched Candyman. I had heard about Candyman for a long time. I used to have this VHS, and I forget what it's called. It was like Nightmares. Oh no, it's called Boogeymen. And it had like the top 10 boogeymen or whatever in horror movies, and Candyman was always on it, so I'd always watch a scene from Candyman whenever I'd watch that movie. So I had never seen it, and mostly because I was holding off, because I knew that everyone that I had watched on YouTube or whatever that had was into movies and stuff that talked about Candyman was like, oh, we're waiting for this Blu-ray release of it. So I had just kept waiting for a Blu-ray release of it, and finally it came out this year, and I ended up picking it up. So this is a really good movie. Definitely would recommend watching this if you've never seen it before. This is another movie that is a first for me. This one also came out in the 90s. I'm pretty sure this movie skipped DVD and went from VHS to Blu-ray, but this was actually a recommendation from Rebecca McHenry from the Shockwaves podcast. Like, she had talked about it and how much she liked it. And I was like, okay, I need to look for the VHS when I go VHS hunting. And then it was announced that it was coming out on Blu-ray. So I picked this one up. This one's really interesting as well. I think that it probably has one of the creepiest, creature makeups that I've ever seen in a movie. And I was like, that's truly freaky. So I was really happy with that one. So definitely check this one out. I think you can get it for about $15 on Amazon. But this is from Code Red. So definitely check that out. This was another good discovery that I found, and this is 31. So over the summer, while I had a lot of free time, I wanted to put a dent in watching a bunch of the movies that I picked up from, or that I have had that I've just not gotten a chance to watch. So I had bought this, I think it was last Black Friday, and I had never really given it a shot, and I watched it and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like, I would say, a much gorier Hunger Games for adults. Basically, I would say it's like Hunger Games if Rob Zombie directed it. So I thought it was really cool and would definitely recommend checking it out if you have not watched it before. And I think that I actually did a review of this, so if I have posted the review, I will put a iCard to it up in the corner so you guys can watch my thoughts on that if you are interested. And then the last one, which I know I've done a review of, and you should definitely check it out, but the last great discovery of this year, which I also discovered on Showtime or HBO before I actually picked up the Blu-ray of it, was Autopsy of Jane Doe. Now, this was it kind of freaked me out, to be honest. And it takes a lot to actually freak me out with a movie, because I've seen so much things and I just really don't get freaked out very often. And I was kind of freaked out by this. So I am really glad to have been able to watch this movie. Glad to have picked it up, and 100% would recommend that you guys watch it if you are into horror movies and things like that. But that is it for the top 10 best discoveries that I've found this year. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about what I put on this top 10 of discoveries. If you've seen any, let me know what you think about them, or if you want to see them. Give this video a like if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye.